Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
All right, welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. We have Liba filling in for Qasim today. And our guest today is Ryan Holliday. So, Ryan, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
Glad to be on. Good to talk with you, Dan and Liba. This is Ryan Holliday. I'm from Medina, Ohio, working Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a vice president of operations here at Biro Sales, and I coach in North Royalton, Ohio. So I'm a head basketball coach for the varsity boys over at North Royalton. So glad to be on and excited to dive in a little bit.
Awesome. So I guess the first question is, how are you able to manage your time? Because being a head basketball coach, I played sports in high school, is a lot of work, and also you're director of operations at a company. How are you able to structure, manage your time to do both essentially sort of full-time jobs simultaneously?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's taken years of practice learning how to manage time. And some of it's just I have really great people around me, so I surround myself with great people, great assistant coaches, great people that I work with, and highly talented people. So I spend a lot of my time training, coaching, and developing people around me, and it allows me to focus on the big things. So early in my career, I used to just handle every detail, and my time management wasn't that great. And over time, I've learned how to develop people around me and then focus on the big things. That's probably the secret to it. But even with doing that, coaching in the off season, it's 15 hours a week. In season, it's 40 plus. So it is a full-time gig if you're going to do a good job. Coach in a tough conference, and I have elite coaches that I'm going up against, and I have to be on the ball or they're going to take us down. So it's a lot of fun, but definitely keeps me busy. That's for sure.
Awesome. So when it comes to being, working in operations, how did you get your start? How are you when just to get to where you are today, like where did you start from and work your way up to be in your current position?
That's a great question. So I started right out of high school. I went to Toledo University for 2 years. I would give myself a C in my college performance. Played too much sports, worked out, hung out a little too much. Came back home and I got into manufacturing. I got into pressure sensitive adhesives with a company called MTech. And at the time, then I started going back to school full time. So I was working full time, going to school full time, doing continuous education on Saturdays and Sundays, which turned out to be one of the greatest blessings ever because I was taking classes and then applying what I was learning at class at work at the same time. So I feel like my college experience was a very high level college experience. I was working with professionals in college. So I started in manufacturing. I started on the floor. I mean, I was running machines and team leader and things like that. Over time, we did so well that our company was purchased by 3M. So then I got to spend a number of years working for a company that had elite level manufacturing. And so what I did is, I have this theory, put yourself in the room where you're not the smartest person. So I had some great mentors and people I learned from, and they taught me, and I watched and observed, and over time got into supervision and then operations and then Six Sigma, and just kept challenging myself. From there, I did leave 3M because my next move was leaving Ohio and Northeast Ohio, and it just didn't make sense for me and my family at that time. So I got into a couple different companies before found another. I worked for Oshkosh. I worked at a steel manufacturing for a little while. And then I found a home at a company called Firedex, and I spent 12 years there as the operations manager. And that was a tremendous experience. And then I took a growth opportunity to become the vice president here at Biro Sales and actually go full circle and come back to pressure sensitive label material. So that's kind of, a 50,000 foot view of my journey. I would say it's hasn't been a straight line. It's been an up and a down and a lot of turns, but super exciting. And For me, the key is just keep learning each and every day. That's what I do. Every day I learn. Stay humble and keep learning.
What are the main challenges that you're facing right now in terms of what you're doing?
Yeah. So the unique challenge with my current position is we're a smaller company and we are trying to grow this business. And I would say we are in the direct thermal business, and this most of our customers would be the meat department at a grocery store, the produce department at a grocery store. We're trying to grow that business. The label business itself in the United States is about a $49 billion business annually, and we are less than 0.5% of that. So we have tremendous growth potential, and it's one of the things I love to do is scale up a business. So start it at a certain level and then have projected goals and then grow this business. So for me, it is not only in manufacturing and scaling that up, but it's also learning the sales cycle, learning how to find the markets and then build that network and those relationships, build that trust so that people can rely on us, count on us, and then we can be the preferred label supplier. So it's a lot of fun. I love that I'm learning new things. The manufacturing side, it to me comes pretty easy, comes pretty natural. The sales side and the sales cycle has been fun. I did dive into it a little bit. One of the things, Dan, I didn't mention in my basketball career was I started a online training development for youth basketball, and that was all online business. I ran it on a platform out of Hong Kong called Coachbase, and it was a really fun endeavor. I actually had more success in Hong Kong than I did in the United States. And but that taught me a lot about sales. So I really had to learn sales and the sales cycle. But I'd say that that'd probably be my biggest challenge is learning the sales side of the business. It's been fun. It's been outstanding. We're having a ball with it. So great question.
So what is the role of technology in your business?
Yeah, that's another great question. So for us, our business, we've been running presses, Mark Andy presses that were built in 1985. So these are older style presses. They are flexo printing presses. And I joined the company in November, and since then we've purchased two new finishing presses. So we purchased a Rotoflex, and then we just purchased a brand new DACO, which is a die cut and slitter all in one. And our newest is much more advanced. It has a PLC. It has a touch screen operations. It's got memory. The thing that I love about it from manufacturing is we can build a product portfolio and standard and then save that product so that when the operator then comes back to run it 2 months later, they hit one button and all the tensions, all the settings are done. In our older presses, we've got operators who have 20, 30 years experience, and they know how to tweak the machine, and it's a lot more touch and feel. Where our newer machines, we can go in, go through that process one time, set the machine, we're done. They've also got the ability to keep labels and stop the roll before it stops, and just all kinds of advanced features. That's probably the role of technology. The other part of technology in our industry is the printing machines that our customers are using continue to evolve and they continue to change. So we've got on our staff some folks that we can go into our customers' printers remotely and adjust their settings, do designs, do their safe handling, do their, all the different things that they would need for their label. You don't know how much it is. You go and you get some ground meat and they put it on a scale, and then this scale prints out this label and they put it on there, and you don't pay much attention to it other than the price probably as a consumer. But to get that label to print exactly what you want it to print every single time, there actually goes a lot into it. So the technology keeps evolving, technology keeps changing, and it's super important for us to stay on the cutting edge of it and right at the front of it.
Are you looking at or using artificial intelligence at all in your business?
So we just started using some things to help some of our marketing, finding customers, helping us write letters, write company policies. One of the things as a business, we've been a smaller business, so there, when I came on board, there's a lot of policies and a lot of procedures and a lot of things that we have to develop, that I've done in the past. But to make it a little faster, a little easier, I get a head start by using, chat GP or whatever, and just the different things like that. So artificial intelligence is slowly working its way into our industry. I wouldn't say it's prevalent yet. We are certainly starting to use it here just for efficiencies and helping us get more done from day to day. But it's definitely the wave of the future. So we're, again, we're trying to stay ahead of that. Some of the new the next evolution for us is going to be to upgrade our printing abilities and our capabilities. And the artificial intelligence in the next series of printing is unbelievable. It learns processes as it goes and it adapts and it adjusts. So we're not there yet. We have upgraded our die cutting, our slitting, our finishing. Our next step in our growth is to upgrade our printing technology, and we're in the, I would say it's the discovery period right now. We're probably a year out before we make that big step, and that is a big step. But we're super excited about it, and the advantages that can come out of it are just unbelievable. The efficiency gains and things of that nature. So it's going to be exciting. We're really excited. We're looking at all our options right now.
Awesome. So what would you say are your top priorities in the next 3 to 6 months?
So for us, our top priorities is market share first and foremost. So we went through a period where we increased our capabilities and our capacity, and we've done that. So now we are in the process of growing our market share and getting the word out. I always say this business has been around for 60, 70 years. The label side of the business has been around for 33. And we have, for the most part, we've been operating in, I call it stealth mode, real quiet and not letting us, nobody knows about us. It's just kind of an add-on piece of the business. And we've made a corporate decision to, okay, it's time to let the world know we're here, we're ready to go. And so the next 3 to 6 months, there's going to see tremendous growth for us. We're super excited. We're adding customers every week, and we're getting the word out there. So that's, it's exciting again, and that goes back to the sales cycle where, we over the last 6 months we've been upgrading our manufacturing, and then the next 6 months we're gonna tackle market share, and then we're going to get to a point where, okay, our printing capabilities needs to catch up. And that's when we're going to then add the next newest, latest, and greatest technology into our printing capabilities, and probably start getting into digital printing. We currently are only flexograph printing, and we're going to have to continue to flexo because direct thermal paper cannot go through a digital printer because of the heat. So we'll continue to flexograph, but then we're going to add in digital printing.
So in terms of capturing market share, right, what does that look like for you? Are you guys going to more trade shows, or are you doing more cold email? Like, how are you going to grow and capture more of the market in the next 3 to 6 months?
So for us, there's two strategies. We can sell direct. So a lot of times you're selling to a direct grocery store and a chain, but many times we are growing through distribution. So we are connecting through lots of media, through LinkedIn, through Google ads, through our, we're revamping our website right now. So we're doing a lot of things to connect, but many times it's through distribution. And what happens is in our business, people that sell these types of scales need to provide the label and the media that goes inside the scale. That's where we come in. So locally, we are selling direct, and nationally, because we don't have a sales team that circumferences and circles the United States yet. We will one day, but right now we're going through distribution. So locally, it is directly through chains and networking and people that we know, and then nationally, Dan, I know you had mentioned you were from Chicago. That's an area that we've been really targeting. We're starting to have some success, and it's all through distribution. It's people who are selling different scales, like Zerba scales, or like a Sheeta, just different things like that. And then when they sell that scale, we come alongside them and say, we can provide that media that goes in there. So really exciting. The opportunities for us are endless. They are endless. And we're just getting started.
So what is the biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew when you first started your journey in your career?
Yeah. Okay. So there's so much. I say I just each day I continue to learn and learn and learn. But I would say it's the art of developing and building people around you. I would say that's probably the key to success. So, I typically try to put people around me that maybe have a skill set that's stronger in an area than I am, and then develop them, coach them, lead them, encourage them. That's really important. You have to have good people around you. I say that in basketball too. The best basketball coaches are the ones that have great assistant coaches and great players. You can't be a good coach if you have players that aren't good. So, in my basketball program, we really emphasize player development. We emphasize coaching development. So, and then learning how to stay humble and then get a group of people together that can solve problems. And I learned this early on when I worked at 3M. I got involved in an adhesive coating project, and I was young. I was in my mid 20s. Essentially what we did is we got in a room and I said, let's just all leave everybody's title at the door and let's just solve a problem. Just like a group of friends. And we came out of there with a $700,000 a year savings. And that kind of changed the business, right? That's a big annual savings. And what I learned from that was you don't have to be the person with the right answer all the time. You just have to be part of the team. And then you got to trust people and you got to work with people. And I think that's the key, being good to the people around you, being a strong leader. Don't get me wrong. You have to be decisive and you got to make decisions. But bringing people with you when you make those decisions is critical. And I would say that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned. And early in my career, when I was a team leader, I ran a department, and the department ran great, but I would spend 12 hours running around that place doing everything. And at the end of the day, when I left that department, it wasn't that strong, because I was the person running around doing everything. And I learned that wasn't the best strategy. And then, as your team grows, you've really got to take time and see the big picture. You've got to be 3 months ahead, 4 months ahead, 1 year ahead. What is your 5 year? Do you have a 5 year plan? And what is it? And are you staying ahead of it? And then the last thing I would say is continue to work on yourself. Recognize that whoever you are today, you can be better tomorrow. So just keep working on yourself, keep learning, keep growing. Um, you know, Dan, like what you guys are doing. You're out here interviewing and you're learning and you're growing. I think it's fantastic. I love what you guys are doing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So if we have this conversation again in 1 year from now, what are things going to look like? You said that 1 year things are going to be much different. What do you envision things looking like for your business?
Yeah, so our market share is going to grow tremendously. Our staff, we'll probably double our staff. We'll probably be in the beginning stages of figuring out what our new print line looks like. Can it be in our current facility? Do we need to add a facility? Our marketing campaigns will be stronger. We'll understand where to go and how to get there. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes for our business. We take a lot of pride in making sure that we service our customers to the very highest level. So we've got long standing relationships with our customers. So our customers have been with us for a long time. We don't lose customers because we make sure we take care of them. And, for me, it's very important that as we grow, we don't change that customer service mindset. We don't want to outgrow that. I've seen companies that they sometimes outgrow that. So that's very, very important to me that we stay true to our business and who we are, and we continue to serve our customers at the highest level. So for us, it could be, right now to double our business in 1 year is certainly possible. And I think that's probably about where we're going to be. We're going to be about 50%. And then that curve starts to get a little bit exponential. So now in a year from now, it's going to be managing that growth, not just trying to grow, but picking and choosing how we grow and picking the right customers and making sure we don't grow so fast that we lose our customer service. That's what 1 year looks like for us.
That's exciting, and we're rooting for you. So If somebody wanted to reach out to you personally or to your company, what's the best way for somebody to reach out to you?
Yeah, so anybody could reach out to me at rholiday@birosalesinc.com, and that's two L's in holiday. Or they could just call our number, which is 216-651 2933. You can find me on LinkedIn. That's another good way. I'm always trying to network on LinkedIn. For our industry, Label Expo is a big place to meet. This year it's in Brussels. Next year it'll be back in the United States. We'll have plenty of representation at Label Expo, and we're just excited to grow this business. So great question, Dan.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us. And as I said, we're definitely rooting for you. Hopefully, 1 year from now, we can chat again as you guys double in business.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day.
Thanks, you too. All right. Bye.
All right, bye, guys.